Welcome. It's January 20th. Happy Friday. Let's go. Top stories. Stories we're covering today. Ivana Trump. Remember her? Ex-wife of Donald Trump? What's happening with her estate? A woman sues the bar for her actions after she got drunk. Arizona. Governor, AG, all that. What are y'all doing to female prisoners down there? Do y'all remember? Think back a little bit. Back with old school porn. Y'all remember Ron Jeremy? And then we got some NASA news. Yep, gotta cover the sciences. And question, where's Kamala? Y'all seen her? Kamala, where you at? And our top story is going to be today is there was a failed candidate that had hard feelings after he lost in New Mexico and shot at his opponent's house. And with that said, let's go. Welcome to the Working Man Committee Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon T. Where we talk about everything that's important to the working man. When I say working man, we're not politically correct at all. It's men, women, whoever out here getting it. So we're here to bring you the news that you need to know. From political news, what's happening in Washington. Local news, what's happening around you. Foreign news, what's happening over there. The science, we need to look up what's happening in the science arena. And the really ridiculous stories like, why the stories make you say, why they do that for? That's some crazy. I might need to try that, and so forth. And with that said, you catch the show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the YouTube channel, and a political weekly roundup on Sundays, where that's just mostly a political show talking about political topics. And you can catch us on all social media, the Working Man Committee. And with that, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top story today: failed GOP candidate arrested on suspicious of shooting at his Democratic's rival house. Yes, this happened in New Mexico. Yep. So former Republican candidate for New Mexico legislator, who police say claim election fraud after his defeat, has been arrested on suspicion of obstructing recent shooting that damaged a home of the Democrat elected leader in the state. So, this guy running for local office shot at his opponent. Solomon, who lost his 2022 run for State House in District 14, was arrested Monday in Albuquerque, New Mexico, accused of paying and conspiring with 4 men to shoot at the home of 2 state legislators and 2 county commissioners in December and January. Oh snap! So old buddy was ready for war there, and trying to participate in at least one more shooting, authority says. So he felt that he was wrong by, I guess, the election, or maybe he was. Feel like he's wrong in this district 14. So there's probable cause to believe that soon after his unsuccessful political campaign, he conspired to commit these 4 shootings at the official's house. An affidavit says, yeah. So he went election day, felt like he ran a good campaign. Thought he had this little local job and lost, and then at that point, he was going to get even with the person on the other side. Okay. The investigation confirmed the shootings were indeed politically motivated. The Albuquerque mayor Tom Keller said on Monday. So they looked at all that was happening and said that political reasons were. So we got a video, a soundbite from one of the persons that he was shooting at, and so we'll play that for you now. Go.
Can imagine what you're feeling as you're seeing the developments of what happened here. But I guess my first question is just, do you believe that this was motivated by the fact that he was upset over losing his election?
Yeah, I believe, when it happened, yes, I'm still shocked. When it happened, I knew that it was, that's what we see most pressing, was people being aggressive around denying the elections. So I feel like, yes, I feel like it was due to really larger people thinking that, that this is possible, that this is okay, our elected officials, but putting violence when we're in a position like this.
Yeah, and he actually showed up at your house after he lost his election. When was that, and what did he say to you?
Yeah, he came to my house after the election, and he's an election denier. He weaponized those dangerous thoughts to threaten me and others, causing serious trauma. He was saying that the elections were fake, that really speaking erratically. I didn't feel threatened at the time, but I did feel like he was, erratic.
Do you feel safe?
Yeah, so this particular individual, like I said, lost his race and went to the extreme measure of trying to, I don't know what the main purpose of this was, if he's just lashing out and just upset, or is he trying to change something or something? But hey, that's a little outrageous when you say working man. Hopefully justice will be served, and this particular person will get what's coming. All right, our next story. We're going to go national politics. Question. You read the news, watch TV, consume content, look at this show and others. And when's the last time you've seen Vice President Kamala Harris? Think about it. When's the last time you've seen her? Outside of when the Golden State Warriors came to the White House. When have you seen her? When have you seen her do anything? And so forth. Kamala. Let's see. Check this out. So last time Harris led an event on immigration was in June 7th, 2022. So top of the summer. When she announced nearly $2 billion in additional funding addressed the root cause of immigration and migration. She has not led any migration events since and did not accompany President Joe Biden on his first trip to the border. Kamala, weren't you in charge of border stuff? I mean, I understand. I remember around this time when Biden said, "Hey, we want you," and she was like, "Ha, we'll see. I ain't come here to work." Yeah, so back in December, the White House press secretary was asked about Kamala and what was happening with the border situation, and she said she didn't have any updates on what Kamala Harris been doing on migration. Harris's office did not respond to an inquiry by the Daily Caller posing the question, has she done anything on migration and immigration since June? So, White House don't know anything what she's doing. Her office isn't saying anything that she's doing. What is she doing? Kamala, where you at? Let's see. A large part of Kamala Harris' summer was spent pushing an abortion right after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in May and speaking to state leaders across the country about reproduction rights. Okay, so she pivoted over the summer, Roe vs. Wade, that was overturned by the Supreme Court and pushed back to the states. And so she been focusing on that, not necessarily doing the assignment that Joe Biden gave her. All right, like I said, she's like, hey, I ain't come here to work. I show up when I want to. Kamala, what's going on? Okay, she also attended 10 events for the Democratic National Committee, the DNC. She held events as chair of the National Space Council and advertised the administration's legislative agenda like the Inflation Reduction Act across the country. Other Harris events included the climate and LGBT rights and a flurry of Democratic campaigns in the midterm. Kamala. Where are you, Kamala? Let's go back. So Biden appointed Vice President Kamala Harris, to lead the immigration efforts by the administration back in June of 2021. So a year or so before that, saying it's not her full responsibility and job, but she's going to lead the efforts. And it's like, why would you pick Joe or the people behind Joe that makes the decisions? I know, right? Let's see. I asked her, the vice president today, this is Biden said. This is what they said Biden said, or this is what they told Biden to tell her, however what the teleprompter says. It says, I asked her, the vice president today, because she's the most qualified person to do it. Kamala, guys, vice president, so you're the most qualified person to do what? All right. Okay, Joe. I guess if you get the title of vice president, you become the most qualified person to do a lot of things. Okay. To lead the efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle countries to help the ongoing need for stemming the movement of people for migration to our southern borders. Biden said at the time. But let's look at it. So back in 2021, she was told that she's gonna do the job. In 2022, she said, I found you $2 billion to research something, and beyond that, I ain't saying her. Kamala, where you at? All right. Next story in that stack of stuff. Science story. An old NASA satellite falling from the sky this weekend. Oh. Satellite falling from the sky this weekend. Day Friday. Uh-oh. All right, so this is a NASA AP story here. Let's see, a 38-year-old retired NASA satellite is about to fall from the sky. NASA says Friday the chances of records falling on anybody is very low. Most of the 5,400-pound satellite will burn up on re-entry, according to NASA, but some pieces will expected to survive. The space station put the odds of injury from falling debris at 1 in 9,000. Snap. This will hit you before the lottery will. Let's see. The science satellite was expected to come down Sunday. Is expected to come down Sunday night, give or take 17 hours. The Defense Department says California-based Aerospace Corp, however, is targeting to Monday morning, or a give or take 13 hours allowing the track to pass over Africa, Asia, Middle East, and the westernmost areas of the North and South America. All right. See, the Earth Radar Budget Satellite, known as ERBS, was launched back in 1984 aboard the Shuttle Challenger. Although it was expected working lifetime of 2 years, the satellites keep making ozone and other astronomical measurements until it retired in 2005. The satellite studied the Earth's energy from the sun. Okay, so it studied what was happening from the sun. Okay, the satellite got a special send-off by Challenger, America's first woman in space. Sally Ride released the satellite into orbit using the shuttle's robotic arm. The same mission also featured the first spacewalk by U.S. woman Katie Sullivan. It was the first time a female astronaut flew in a space together. 2 women. All right, cool. So the satellite, women put it up there. Now we got a duck. Yeah. All right. Now, our next story. We're gonna file this one into the what in the world ridiculous segment. So, I need y'all to work with me. I need you to think back with me. You remember old school porn back in the 90s, before it was internet. Got to get the DVD, not the DVD, the tapes, so forth. And do you remember any particular porn star name? Famous guys. Remember Ron Jeremy? Italian dude looking Italian with the handlebar mustache. Yeah. So, check it out. Fox News story. Adult film star Ron Jeremy found incompetent to stand trial for multiple rape charges. Now, if you remember, he was arrested, I think, earlier this year. No, I think he was arrested in 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. All right, here we go. Former adult film star Ron Jeremy was declared mentally incapable of standing trial in Los Angeles. A judge Tuesday for dozens of rape and sexual assault charges. Jeremy's full name is Ronald Jeremy Hayes, who was not present at the hearing. Superior Court Judge Harris reviewed the report for both prosecutor and Jeremy's defense, determined to say that the 69-year-old is incapable of negotiating. He's incapable of standing trial. His cognitive dissonance is declined. Yeah. So prosecutors asked that he be periodically reviewed, make sure he ain't just playing. Jeremy's next hearing will be in February 7th at the state hospital. Jeremy was indicted in 2020 on 34 counts of sexual assault and 12 counts of rape, with involving 21 women across 2 decades. Wow. It's a lot. Let's see. He pleaded not guilty for the first time, and his lawyers continue to maintain Jeremy's innocence. His trial was supposed to happen, but like I said, after they ruled that he's got his name and so forth. He's also going. It says here. He's also going to be handled through the state's mental facilities for someone who is incompetence to assist by the incompetence by the lawyer. Let's see. Jeremy's lawyer told Fox News that it's really unfortunate how far he has mentally declined. Let's see. 2 years have gone by, and I've gotten a lot more information in this case. He added in the statement to the Associated Press, and he believes if he went to trial, he'd be found innocent. He's not going to have the opportunity to clear his reputation because he is not going to trial. So they're saying that Ron didn't do these things, didn't do as they say. It said, according to transcripts of the grand jury testimony with the alleged victims obtained by the Associated Press, Jeremy would lure these women to small, secluded spaces, often the bathroom or the West Hollywood Bar and Grill. He frequently entrapped them and sexually assaulted them. The charges stem from the district attorney's task force set to investigate entertainment industry sexual misconduct following the report from Harry Weinstein back in 2017 started the Me Too movement. Yep, Me Too. If y'all remember, the Me Too movement originally started by a black woman said she was getting treated just like the white women. And then the white women took it over, recreated that into the industry people being mistreated and so forth. So Ron Jeremy has the mental capacity not to be able to stand trial for any of this stuff. So I guess this one's we're gonna chalk this up to a lost cause. All right. Next story. Local politics story. This one kind of threw me a little bit. It really threw me. Let's see. Arizona Governor AG condemned for barbaric inducing labor of pregnant prisoners without consent. Yeah. Let's see. The Governor Hobbs just was elected, and the AG may have been condemned for inducing the labor of pregnant prisoners against their will. 3 women incarcerated at the Perryville Police Department in Buckeye told the Republicans that they were induced before their due date, not because of specific medical conditions, but for scheduling reasons that would protect the prison system from potential liability. Wow. NapCare, the company that's contracted to provide healthcare services inside Arizona prisons, say absolutely has no policy to force induct labor and insists that in its description and insisted that the decision to do that is solely on the pregnant woman. Yeah. The company repeatedly denied the allegations that it is forcing women in its care to deliver babies against their will. And let's think about this. So they're saying that this would be something that the governor and the AG would have to sign off. And so let's go over who is the governor. She just won an election recently. This is a little montage about her. Go.
Days of ballot counting, this Democrat officially flipped the Arizona governor's seat by 1 percentage point. As one of 9 new governors entering 2023, Katie Hobbs is just one name you need to know. Hobbs was a social worker and has served in the state House and Senate. Most recently, she was Arizona's Secretary of State. The Democrat will replace term-limited Republican Governor Doug Ducey.
As soon as my term begins, I will do everything in my power to repeal the draconian 1864 abortion ban.
Arizona's abortion ban dates back to the Civil War and is set to be enforced in 2023. Hobbs says she'll call a special legislative session to repeal it, and if that doesn't work, she'll push for Arizonans to vote on a ballot measure. Addressing water shortages caused by a decades-long drought, Hobbs' plan is to modernize groundwater management so rural communities can monitor and restrict pumping. She'll also expand water reuse efforts. For public education, Hobbs committed to raising teachers' pay, developing free universal pre-K, and fixing school buildings. She believes in a choice between district and charter schools, with further oversight and limitations on the latter. Finally, Hobbs vowed to increase funding for managing Arizona's border crisis. That includes law enforcement, hospitals, and community centers, all of which are overwhelmed. Hobbs has not indicated how she'll pay for these projects, but says she has no plans to raise taxes. With Republicans holding control of the state Senate and House of Representatives, Hobbs could encounter difficulty executing her agenda. Arizona's governor-elect Katie Hobbs, just one name you need to know.
Sure. And it's kind of like, I don't know. Okay, but the company denied that they're forcing women to do anything, but that hasn't stopped the outrage about the allegation. And then, so from the governor's perspective, she said the choice of where and how to give birth is deeply personal and does not change just because someone is incarcerated. So, if you decide to have a baby, that's your choice. Or you decide to when you want the baby, your choice, or your body's choice. But hey, I don't know. I mean, what y'all think? Y'all think that these prisoners are making it up, or you think that the governor is she's looking the other way and don't want the headache? All right. Yeah, next story falls under what in the world, and it's a foreign story. New York Post. I'm gonna give you the headline of this, and you tell me what you think. A woman sues bar after getting so drunk she blew up $10 million home. Yep. So she was so bombed she blew up a home, the report says. This is a Canadian woman. A Canadian woman who caused $10 million home explosion while driving drunk is now suing the bar that provided her the alcoholic beverages. She claimed the owners are to blame. Not her action. Hey, the owner of the bar. See, the car bomb fiasco occurred back in August 2019 when Danny Les, the 26, was driving home from Marilyn Manson concert after having drinks at the Budweiser Garden Bar in London, Ottawa, Canada. Yep. So she crashed her Ford Focus, registered her father, into a brick home at I'm not gonna get the address, and ruptured the gas line and triggered a massive explosion, destroying 4 homes and injuring 7 people. Whoa! Oh my God! The inferno blazed several homes nearby. The entire neighborhood had to be evacuated with gas and water service cut off in all the areas. All told, the blast reportedly caused damage to the neighborhood between $9.8 and $14 million. The financial impact of her actions have endured the damage approximately 50. The financial impact have totaled the estimated approaching $15 million, the judge said at the time of the court. Meanwhile, no one died, but 7 people were injured, including 2 police officers. Do you think that your ex would leave you anything? Say your ex-wife, ex-husband, y'all been divorced for countless years. The children y'all have are grown. I mean, not like little grown, like grown. And you think they would leave you? You think if they don't leave you nothing in the will, would you be hurt? Or are they supposed to? You moved on, you're remarried, you have more children, they remarried, they're gone, and then so they don't leave you anything. Does that tell you anything about how you were with them? So the story from She Knows, and the headline is Ivana Trump, $34 million estate gives insight on how she felt about her ex-husband Donald Trump before she died. How does that give insight? If she would have left him some money, that would have been something else. As Ivana Trump passed away in July, but her will and her $34 million assets she left behind shows a lot of insight on her family dynamic. She left her children, Ivana, Don Jr., and Eric, well taken care of, but she didn't leave anything for Donald Trump, her ex-husband. Was she supposed to? Was he expecting anything? It's probably rare that former, I like the way they put the former wife would leave anything to her ex, but Ivana left one of her properties for her fourth ex-husband. Oh man, not the fourth guy. In her will when she died, according to Forbes, the adult children are splitting all the proceeds from the sale of her $26 million New York City townhouse, which needs a bit of TLC, it says. It hasn't sold yet, but it should add a significant chunk of change to their net worth. Remember, Donald Trump has only been loaning, not giving money to his kids as far as according to his tax records. I know that's right. Y'all grown. Ain't no hey man, once you cut off from once you transition out of that stuff to the super adult, hey, it's all loans at that point. You need to hold something? No, I need it back. So while Ivana was generous to her children and one of her exes, Donald Trump did not make the list. She reportedly had a difficult time after her former husband was elected president. It ruined her social life. Said, "They hate me. They all hate me." That's where a fashion designer and close friend of hers told Vanity Fair. Yeah. So Ivana struggled to reconcile her elite money world she floated so effortlessly through with her former husband and last name she shared with him. Ivana reportedly told a friend, "It's not my fault. I'm not him. I divorced him a long time ago. I did not deserve this." So I guess she was looked down upon because she was with him at one point at a time, and she felt that high class people in New York City was shunning her, and so forth. So my question is again, if she felt this way about social life, why would she leave him anything in the will? I mean, she was married 4 times. She married 4 times. One was Trump, and the last guy got a piece of property. And so Trump plus the other 2 guys got nothing, but that somehow tells about the dynamics of the house that something was wrong. She knows. I think this story is a bit of a reach. Working man, some stuff is ridiculous, and that story is very ridiculous. That the conclusion, I guess, hey man, slow news there on that point. And with that said, this has been the Working Man Committee. I'm your host, Brandon T, and we'll see you next time. So follow us on all social media, and peace.